And welcome to this very special edition of Mortens Corner. I've been looking forward to this. This is where you get answers to all your questions on anything ClickLearn related. I hope you've enjoyed the session so far. I have with me today a super exciting panel. Obviously, there's no Mortens Corner without Mr. Morten Neubert, so please introduce yourself for those very few in the audience that do not know you.
My name is Morten. I work with ClickLearn support. I have a YouTube channel called Mortens Corner, which I enjoy making videos about ClickLearn, really. So yeah, on to Michael.
Yeah, and with me we have Mr. Michael Olsen, the chief architect and the original inventor of ClickLearn. So I will allow you to do a quick introduction of yourself. Michael, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Michael. Yeah, I'm one of the developers of the product, so nice to have this session with everyone.
All right, and then I'm of course very honored to have a special external guest. We don't normally do this, but since this is our first launch of the Olsen partnership, that I'm hoping that you guys have enjoyed in the sessions as well, I have brought in Mr. Imre Nagy, who is the VP of Engineering at Olsen. Say hi to everyone here, Imre.
Hi everyone, good to be here. Thank you for having me, guys.
All right, are we having a little bit of tech difficulty? I think you're muted, Imre. Is
it possible? For me, it says that it's.
Yeah,
I can see that it's recording.
I can hear Imre, no problem.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys hear me?
And Morten.
I'm sorry.
Yep. So thanks for the introduction, guys. Let's move on. So Morten, anything from our chat? Any questions coming in?
Not yet. They are just saying that everything is fine from them, so they can hear us all and everything's good.
All right.
Questions? None so far.
None so far. Please post your questions in the chat, so we'll be very happy to answer them. It's today where we have the competencies among us. I'd like to start out maybe by asking the first question to you, Imre. So you're developing the virtual avatar that's now driving some of the enhanced training experiences inside ClickLearn. So tell us a little bit about how the AI is impacting what you guys are doing with your avatars, and tell us a little bit about what's the next big thing that you guys are working on.
Okay, thank you. So, short intro to Olsen. So we are creating synthetic human presenter videos, basically, and through this partnership with ClickLearn now, you guys can also basically connect your Olsen account to your ClickLearn account and use our services within ClickLearn. ClickLearn, this is the new partnership that we did. And we specialize in AI avatar creation, right? We have a studio. We are working with a bunch of actors. If you go to our platform, you will see that we have hundreds of presenters that you can use now to your heart's delight. The space is moving towards, and we are moving with it, towards faster rendering techniques. So we're trying to get to a conversational experience, sort of like an AI agent. This is something I think that will be happening early 2025. Another interesting development is going to be more immersive scenario-based avatars. You will hear about this already this quarter, meaning that we would like to make these avatars are usually, green screen recordings cut out from their surroundings, and you put the background behind them. We are trying to move towards a more immersive setup. So we have our own. We went into a studio. We recorded a lot of avatars in their natural industry scenarios, right? So they can be more fitting for more engaging content creation. And of course, avatar creation with your web camera, with your phone cameras at home. That's also very much enabled now in the platform. So these are sort of new innovations that are coming to the space.
All right, thank you so much, Imre. Thanks for sharing that with us. So, Morten, tell us, what is the new feature that you're most excited about in what we are launching today?
I think it's hard to choose, honestly. I really enjoyed the PowerPoints. I think with the AI avatars, I think it's super awesome. It's a really cool way to present it. I really enjoy that. With that being said, I also enjoy the chat personas, where you can segment and divide your content and have them react differently depending on which sort of persona you're interacting with. So basically, the AI formulation of things and the way you can get stuff presented, I really enjoy that. I really do. We do have a few questions if we're ready for them.
Yes.
All right. So first question is from Christine, and she's saying that she's really keen to get a lot of the new features implemented, and if there's any help, because she's not a very technical person. And to you, Christine, I can just say that you need to reach out to us in support or reach out to your customer success manager, and we will help you reach the goal. No problem. Then Lars is asking us if we had any step-by-step guides for the user adoption center for IFS Cloud, specifically getting the support in the live system part. So what he's asking.
So I can maybe cover a little bit on that. I think that in our learning.clicklearn.com, which I think contains all our work instructions for everything that you should be able to do in ClickLearn Attain, there's also one on the setup of the UXP or the UAC, as it's called in the IFS world. So I think that going to that place would probably be your first stop. Then we do have some universe content. That's our learning platform with micro learning on the UXP, and everything that applies to the UXP applies exactly in the same way to the user adoption center for IFS Cloud. So those are some great starting points. And then I want to make sure that we are here to assist you. So you have a dedicated CSM within our team that can absolutely help you on the journey towards getting in on the user adoption center. And we have a great support team, which Morten represents today, that will be able to guide you in that journey as well.
Thank you for that, Joachim. Then I have a question from Adam, who said, you showed how you can pull in PowerPoints to create training. Can you also import other documents type, like Word documents?
You could basically, right, from the narration standpoint. There's nothing wrong with getting the content in there, but I'm not sure that you want a Word document to be part of your training experience inside a video, for example. So you might actually want to do something around the PowerPoint and then do your own narration. I think that I'm not sure whether that came out in the session, but it's actually possible to do two different PowerPoints, one for the narration part and then do one for what you want the users to show. The reason we've integrated very closely with the PowerPoint feature is that we can actually automatically generate the narration. But if you have your narration in Word, you can basically copy it and paste it into your memo, and then you should be good to go.
Yeah, exactly. Correct. You can also make your Word as part of your part of the chat, so you can talk to the chat about the Word document, ask it questions, and it will intelligently rephrase stuff from the document and paraphrase it for you. So it works really well with the chat in that sense, because you have a large document, right? So let's say I put in a 50-page PDF, I can use the chat to just quickly find the information I need, and it's very helpful in that sense. Then we have Paul, and she's asking are we able to roll out IFS UAC to a large population of users? We don't want them to copy paste the link into the extensions themselves. And to you, I can say yes. We actually have a guide on how to deploy it via group policy. So basically, you can deploy the extensions to the users, and you can also deploy the content link to the users as well. So they don't need to do anything other than clicking the login button in IFS and doing the daily work, and the user experience panel, the user adoption center will pop out and help them. So yeah, it's all built for that. Then we have Fengen, He's asking which large language model does ClickLearn use for the chat box? Is ClickLearn able to provide Gen AI training possibilities? It would be a great opportunity to offer company-specific knowledge to end users. Joachim.
Yeah, so we are always running on the latest model possible. We are running in a secure environment. That means that everything we are doing is running on the Azure OpenAI. And that means that for every single company we create a separate container of content. So it means that you're not sharing your content with anyone else. It also means that we are not using, or Microsoft is not using your responses to actually train the underlying LLM. The LLM that's being used is OpenAI's right now GPT 3.5 we've been using for quite a while. But we recently switched over to O Mini. 4.0 Mini, and it's giving us super good replies, and it's a lot better than 3.5. So right now everyone is by default running on 4.0. There are some concerns because it's not every region that we're capable of getting local ChatGPT 4.0 support for inside the Azure environment, and that means that for those users that do not want to transcend country boundaries with their requests into their environments, we have the possibility of logging them back on 3.5. So basically, it's either 3.5 or 4.0 Mini. When it comes to our Azure, our Attain application, everything you see inside Attain is running on the latest model that we have access to, which is 4.0. And that should be the enterprise flagship right now until we get to the 0.1, which is coming soon.
Awesome, Joachim. Then I have a question from Seed, and he's asking, is Avatar available for all existing licenses, or do we need to upgrade the license?
So the virtual avatars that Imre represents from Colossian is one of the biggest milestones, and I've been really excited about bringing that to everyone. Unfortunately, the price point is still at a place where we cannot offer the service free of charge for everyone, so you need to bring your own subscription. And that means that what Imre has done for us is that he's created some really good advantages for the ClickLearn audience, and made sure that you can actually purchase more minutes basically for the same sum of money. But you need to take out a subscription first with Colossian, then you bring in the API key inside Attain, and then Bob's your uncle, and basically from there on Attain will ensure that we take control over the API and make sure that we only generate what's necessary for you. On the licensing models, anyone from beyond basic when it comes to subscription, and every perpetual license are allowed to use the features available from Colossian.
It's very nice. Then I have two questions that I'm slightly in doubt of. One is from Torsten. He's asking what new feature is included in the standard license. I'm not 100% sure what he means with the standard license. Does he mean in non-UXP or just in essentials, or?
Yeah, maybe Torsten can help us there, but basically we have UAC or UXP access from essentials and upwards. When it comes to the IFS cloud, if you're working there, you need to be on an enterprise installation. There are two things that we are bringing in for the user adoption center. That is that we're pushing the user adoption center to our enterprise license, and we're also pushing the APT to our enterprise license. So those two features in the future will be covered up there. If you have an existing standard license, you need to upgrade to an enterprise license in order to get access to the user adoption center. When it comes to every other feature that you've seen, well, basically, if you're on a subscription model, essentials and upwards, you have access to the UXP, and if you have access to the UXP, you can use the features that you've seen today. That goes with the exceptions of AI, which is available in the professional and upwards. So you'll need a professional and upwards. I think that our licensing page should be pretty clear on what you can do, but the features that we've shown today When it comes to everything around virtual avatar, you need just to get on the other side of basic, which I think that 98% of our clients are. So.
Awesome. That actually answers the next question from Sid, who asks, is AI also available for all existing licenses? It is
Yes.
from professional and up.
Yeah, and that's a special note here, especially for the IFS crowd here today, that we do have something called AI credits, and you're going to need to acquire those. It's not a money-making machine. I'm not making a cent on this. I'm just taking the cost and reflecting that directly to you. It's not very expensive, and I think it should be fairly easy to buy your way in terms of AI credits to make sure that you have AI capabilities in there. But you need to have AI credits in order to use the AI features.
Right. Then I have a question from Lars, who's asking which languages does the AI support?
Yeah, so that's the interesting thing, Lars, but because basically it supports everything. But I got to be honest with you that there's an underlying translation model in there. So basically you can type in anything just as you can with ChatGPT. Now what we're trying to do in terms of languages is obviously bring the languages inside the UAC, because one of our problems is that when you are, let's say, uploading seven different documents that you want to create a specific persona on, an HR persona that can answer everything about maternity leave or whatever your use case might be, you want to make sure that's actually in the right language. And you can have some really interesting reductions in the replies if you take in, let's say, you do a French prompt, you you fill it up with English documentation, and then you ask suddenly you ask the LLM to translate for you. And especially when it comes to user interface components, it's not always certain that the term order, for instance, inside your user interface is exactly translated in the way that the LLM wants in the actual user experience. So that can be some tricky things there. But we are working on bringing multi-language support into the UAC, but right now it's English only. And it probably will be until we reach the end of the year. Then I think we should be good to go on multiple language.
Awesome. Then I have a question from Fengel, who's asking, or Fengen, sorry, what is the top 3 new exciting features that ClickLearn offer for IFS users?
Yeah, so the first and primary one, which we can break down into 10 different categories, right, is of course that we are bringing the UAC. So with the user adoption center, we are bringing some really new technology and a new way of learning, which is a paradigm shift to what you've been used to, and something that actually works in the sense of performance support, being contextual, being there in the moment of need, and in the flow of work. Looking past that, I think that we will see more features towards the author side, author productivity and enhanced learning experiences, like what we've done with the virtual avatars. We're not at the end of what we want to do with Colossians technology. We're not at all at the end of that. So there's several ideas that are coming out. But the first one is absolutely the PowerPoint generator, the idea that you can enhance your content and you can create a better learning experience instead of having click on the same monotone voice across your learning materials. You can now actually refresh that and fresh that up with better contextual information, bringing more contextual information into the user interface. So I think that's probably what I want to say. And then obviously the idea that you have your own dedicated AI with your documents in store that you can use directly from inside the user adoption center or inside Teams, if you so wish. So this can be your bridgehead towards getting ahead on AI.
Very nice, very nice. Then I have Benjamin asking, how do you handle different revisions? Is there a place in Attain where the different revisions are stored? And I can answer this one, Benjamin. So you have 2 sets of revisions. You have a revision for your publication. So each publication you make increments its revision number, where you can then go back and forth between revisions if you like. So if you just updated your whole learning portal for your entire company and you're like, oh, I made a huge mistake somewhere, you can quickly revert to the old version while you fix your mistakes and republish, for example. That's in the publishing part of ClickLearn. That's where you'll see those revisions. Then you have your recording revisions. Every time you save a recording, so every time you make a change, you click on save, it increments its revision number. And you can always go back and forth revision numbers by right-clicking a recording and select restore version. Then you can go any way you want, right? So if you restore it, it will create an additional revision number, so you can also undo your restore, basically. So yeah, that's how revisions work. Then Adam is asking, is there a way to set up annual training reviews to encourage process owners to review and sign off the current the training, that the current training is still current, and record who signed it off?
Yeah, that should probably be handled from an authoring perspective, right, Morten? I think you have a very interesting thing on doing things like process approval using the metadata system. So basically, the metadata system extends whatever you have on the recording level, and it allows you to put in revision numbers, approval processes, things like that. So that would be your go-to place if your stakeholders are in the business. Other than that, I think that it's really important that you do create the change management processes around how do you want to do your revisions inside your learning portals, and make sure that you get sign-offs from stakeholders before you actually deploy the content. We have several markers that allow you to, for instance, also highlight on new, and I can tell you that this is one of the areas that will absolutely improve over time. So the idea that you have two different recordings in two different editions of your learning portal. What is the difference? Well, we have pretty good results with using the AI to generate summaries of what has changed inside those recordings. So that's something that we will extend in the future. But for now, I think using metadata should be the right way to implement that. And Morten, is it true that you have a Mortens Corner on this, which I think is one of the most popular ones you did?
Yes,
You've done so many. But,
I
yeah.
have one called change management and metadata, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Then we have another exciting question here. Let me just scroll up to it. So Adam asks, you showed in one of the screens of the tour of the new features coming up in the new IFS releases. Can you easily import the material from IFS content?
It's a question that will be answered with a question saying, what content are we talking about? Because if that content is from a Word document or a web page or whatever, then it's a question on how do you want to put it into ClickLearn? Do you want to just do a recording with notes, or do you want to use the Colossian AI avatar, and so on? Then it will become a copy paste of the individual text that you have, and choose to have that static or using an AI avatar. But it really depends on what content that we are talking about here.
Right. We will see if we get a follow-up on that. Then Casper asks, is the User Adoption Center only available for IFS Cloud, or is it also available for Enterprise Explorer?
It's yeah. So I'm going to tell you that the technology is ready, but we are only deploying it for now on IFS Cloud. We don't have a clear strategy on how we are going to cover the previous versions, but I will down the line. I'm not, we're not trying to leave our customers hanging because they're not on the latest IFS version. So we obviously want to make sure that everyone gets what they need in terms of the User Adoption Center. So down the line, I can see this moving forward. Now, I think that probably the last thing that we're going to touch is on Windows application side. So probably web applications first. And Michael, I don't know what the coverage is on the Arena client and Backwoods, but it's pretty good, right?
Technology-wise, we are where we should be. So this is, primarily a question of how long is that needed, right? So everyone wants to go on the latest versions of IFS or any other application out there. And the market dictates that we are going for a web-based access user client, whatever we want to call it. As I said, technology-wise, we could do this. So the question is, for how many years will it be, important to support Enterprise Explorer or other Windows applications in order to get the same user adoption center as you get for IFS Cloud. But it's something that needs to be investigated and discussed before giving a direct answer on it.
All right, that's the politician answer. So basically on the Windows side, I do not have a date for when we'll be ready. I think that when we look at previous versions of IFS, it should be fairly easy, and we'd like to get a beta customer to help us on the Arena client. So if you're running on Arena client, then you feel free to reach out to me. Then we'll see if we can get you going on a user adoption center. All right, Morten.
Yeah. So Benjamin asks something very different. He asks, how many people do you typically recommend to maintain a ClickLearn project? And how long do you think it takes to have these authors on a good level?
Yeah, I think that first of all, it takes consistency. So creating a group around maintaining the ClickLearn content is extremely important. And this is the biggest reason for failure when we look at our clients that are not succeeding with our product, is because they didn't establish the organization around ClickLearn, meaning that there's no one to maintain it. It's very easy when you roll out software to get all the money in the world and all the resources in the world. But when it comes to the day that you actually deploy it, people disperse into different functions. So the most important thing is keep a strong group of ClickLearn authors. When it comes to growing the experience, it's best by doing. So if you have 200 processes that needs coverage, put 50 on 4 people. Making sure that you have a team where you don't suffer if someone leaves the team. And then keep at least one super user that consistently keeps up with what's happening on the ClickLearn side, making sure that the platforms are deployed and everything around that. So a relatively small team should be able to do the job. And I haven't seen more than if you are dedicated authors, I haven't seen larger teams than 4 or 5 people. Those are the largest ones. All right, Morten, are you having a little tech problem there?
Yes. I'm just cross-referencing some of the answers that I'm getting. Just scrolling a bit up and down here to find out where there's an actual question, because there are a lot of comments as well.
All right.
So here's a good one. So Edward asks, what user role within IFS will be used to determine what segmented content the user will see?
Yeah, I can answer that, I think. So inside the IFS Cloud, you have user groups that you can assign to your users. And that basically means that you can utilize the user groups that may come from the standard of IFS Cloud, but you can also define your own. So you can choose to customize those. And when you think about the user adoption center inside a ClickLearn project, we always work with one term, which is called segments. Morten can tell you all about segments, and probably has as well in different sessions. But you simply map those between the user group that you have in IFS Cloud and the segment that you have within your ClickLearn project. That is how you can determine what kind of PDF documents should be used for the AI within different segments. So that's what we call in terms of the system roles, or the roles of the user inside IFS Cloud. The second one is around the context. The context all has to do with where are you inside the IFS Cloud application. And that is automatically transformed from the, I would say, technical path of your navigation. So each page that you have within IFS Cloud belongs to a specific area. That area has a technical name. That is the one that is controlling the context that you're working within. So when you have your ClickLearn recordings, everything that we produce for the User Adoption Center is known inside the application. That means we know what area or what context the individual steps belongs to. So automatically, when you produce and publish your User Adoption Center, it will by default map this accordingly. Now, Morten also has in one of his sessions an explanation of that. What if you have something that you would like, you have a process that you would like to show to a user in a specific context of the IFS cloud, but it's not something that is part of the recording itself. It could also be a recording where you haven't done any steps in IFS Cloud, but you just want to, tell the user something and utilize the Colossian AI avatar and so forth. But therefore, you need the ability to manually go in on a recording and specify in which context that you would like this to be visible to the user. And that is also doable inside the ClickLearn project.
All right, so to answer the question, it's basically completely customizable depending on what roles you assign to your users, and most implement this by creating net new roles in the application, the base application, and apply those so you have ClickLearn specific roles that match into the segments that you want on the other side. Morten, maybe you can just show really quick how this is done in the UAC config or UXP config.
Yeah, for sure. So in ClickLearn itself, you take your content. I've added some recordings here, and basically I go to click any recording, click on advanced, then I can add segments. I create my own segments. They can be whatever they want, right? I have added a bunch. I have some sales, support, HR, marketing. So what I'll do is I'll just, as you can see here, this has been tagged up with, this is for everyone. Then we have some stuff for sales only and some marketing only. And basically this will then, of course, allow users to see this exactly, right? So when a salesperson comes in, they will see exactly these recordings only. For the UXP or the User Adoption Center, this is exactly the same on IFS, there's no difference. I'll come into to my current structure. You can see that I have 5 segments mapped. So I'll go ahead and say edit source, you can see them. Here, this is the role that I got from, this is for CRM that I've created these security roles, but if it was IFS, they would be your IFS user roles, right? So you can just take them here and you can map them up to the segment. So ClickLearn knows what it's supposed to present to which kind of people. That's it. That's all you do. The same goes for when you configure your chat and stuff like that. You can also set out your segments when you do notifications. It's also based on your segments and your feature choice. Everything comes down to the segment. So if you have a new process in sales, you can launch it as a feature tour, and people will then be notified. Hey, we're rolling out this new process. Please check it out, and then they'll have this cool guided tour that you've seen, right? So that's it.
All right, thank you so much, Morten and Michael. Do we have more questions from the chat?
Yeah, there is a follow-up from Adam, who was asking about how you can import new content, new features coming, and a new IFS released. And he says it was a show on one of the tours, like what is coming in IFS R25, for example, where there was some examples shown on the screen from the tour of the HCM module that was demoed.
Yeah, is that using our technology? Or was that on our session with Christine today? Or on the feature tour, maybe?
I think that's what he meant, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's really easy to use existing content as the foundation for creating a feature tour. So it's basically the entire user interface is created for stealing with pride from almost any other recording source you have. And then either converting those into videos or converting them into step-by-step instructions, or copying in your annotations from existing content as well. I'm hoping that's the direction that Adam wants us to go in. Otherwise, we're probably gonna have to buy a letter with a sound.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. All right.
Cool. Then I have one from Lars here, and Lars is asking, I need to make a ClickLearn course that hundreds of employees need to take, and I want to verify that they have who has taken the course. What are my options?
Well, there are several options here. So one is obviously if you have an LMS at the other end, you would probably want to drive that towards the SCORM packages and deliver that inside the experience inside your LMS. If you don't have an LMS, then what we can help you do is that we can track who is doing it, but we don't have features to push out to your user group. It's a relatively large follow-up. No one wants to take courses unless they are actually being followed up on. So it's a very large task in terms of making sure that everyone is there. But using our Test Me videos, you would be able to make sure that everyone has taken them, probably both on Show Me and Test Me, and you can see completion rates directly inside the application. I want to make sure that right now, at least, we are not an LMS. So if you want to do something around learning in general with hundreds of employees, I would recommend using ClickLearn content as the foundation, and then pushing that onwards into the LMS using the SCORM standard. I hope that clarifies, Lars.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Joachim. Then I have a question from Yakov, and he's asking, hi, we are using ClickLearn with Business Central, and monthly we push in prod environment new BC features. Can we use the notifications area to inform BC users about demo records for each of the new BC features we push in prod?
Oh yeah, that's a really sweet use case. So if you have access to the user experience panel, I would definitely use that. Now you can both create groups. So things like what's new groups, and you'll be able to mark up the processes that have changed. You can use the feature tool to actually push forward on the areas where you've changed the application to every one of your users and say, this is a feature that we just launched. So we want to take you on an in-depth tour of what does it do. So those are some of the use cases for feature tours that we I think presented in Marie's session as well. So I think that's a very good idea to be using that. And the notifications means a vehicle of transportation for whatever you want to present, right? If you want to give them a notification, hey, there's something new here to watch, the notifications is a wonderful system. It's actually also the underlying system for which we deploy the feature tours. So I think that the combination of a feature tour and the notification system will probably take you exactly where you want to go with that.
Awesome. Then I have another question from Jacob, who's asking, do the AI work in Navision or BC on-premise?
So if we're talking about Navision, I assume that you're talking about the Windows client, the RTC client of Navision.
I think he actually said BC on-prem.
Yeah, that was Navision and BC on-prem, right? Was correct, Morten?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So for the Navision part, I would guess that this is a Windows client, and that will be the same reply as we did previously on IFS Enterprise Explorer Windows application. So technology-wise, we're there, but we don't have a user adoption center or UXP for Windows-based applications right now. For Business Central on-premise, it will work in the exact same way. It's a it's a web-based client. So it doesn't really matter to us if it's an on-premise or if it's a cloud instance that you're working on.
All right, thank you.
Sweet. Then I have a question from Laura, who's asking, can you import the IFS scope tool for cloud into ClickLearn to begin the standard help documentation produced by IFS?
So we do have a scope import functionality inside ClickLearn. So the answer to that is yes. When you say standard IFS documentation, then that doesn't include what is in their normal HTML standard help documentation. That is not part of their scope. But if you have scope files delivered from IFS, ClickLearn are capable of importing them and allowing you to have, as a minimum, a full skeleton of the entire scope that you're working on. That also goes according to the customizations that might have been done in the IFS scope tool. Where you can basically go in and say, I'm only using these 6 modules of IFS Cloud, and here I have some customizations here and there in terms of my processes. That will all be imported directly in ClickLearn.
And I might add that we do have quite a few clients that are using the IFS scope for the base of their learning experience. I don't think it enhances the learning experience. I think that when we're talking about learning, I would definitely start out in another way. I would probably start out with doing, especially if you are on a UAC journey, you want to do this with a user adoption center. I would start out with a 10, 15 processes, 30 processes for each of your divisions that are most required, that we are going to have complexity, infrequent usage, which is one of the triggers as well. And then I would deploy that as my starting point. And I would do them from scratch using the UAC to make sure that they are also UAC compliant. When you're doing videos for learning material, there's a difference between how you structure your content for video journeys that you're taking the learner on compared to what you want to do with a virtual assistant that guides the user inside the live system. So I would do that consideration before moving ahead. But it's definitely possible. And I'm hoping that down the line, we are going to have standard repositories. It's absolutely technically doable right now. So IFS would have a standard repository of all their learning materials that you would be able to basically import all the recordings directly from them. And then you would do the last 2%. Which is what is different in your system compared to the standards. That is the journey that we would like to see down the line. But there are around 10,000 processes that need to be covered in IFS. And once they're covered, they need to be maintained as well with every change. So it's a little bit like eating an elephant. So right now, I would definitely recommend start out with the very basic processes.
Yeah, for sure. There are 2 more questions. I don't know how we are doing for time.
We'll take the 2 questions, right?
Yeah. So Pierre asks, we touched upon this earlier, but Pierre asks, is it possible to use the UAC with IFS 10 or Arena?
Yeah,
Michael, I think we had that question.
It's the same thing. So IFS 10 applications is a Windows application, and then we have IFS Arena. IFS Arena is the oldest web-based client of the IFS Cloud, and it should be covered by the same technology, the same connector we have today. So you should be capable of doing the same thing with the User Adoption Center on that platform as well, but not the Windows client.
All right, we have time for one last question, Morten.
All right, this one is from Adrian. He's asking, what would be the best use case for ClickLearn features for ongoing ERP implementations?
Well, that's a big one, right? If we are to map the features into where they're used, but I would say that we are committed to driving because basically we have 2 technologies. Let's be honest, right? We have a technology that allows you to do learning portals, micro learning in that particular universe, and it's relying on a disruptive learning mechanism, which a lot of people are right now saying that's not working at all, which I think is wrong because it's Socratic in nature, and this is the way that we've been taught everything we know. So it probably still works. So the idea of learning portals we are committed to, and we will extend on that as well. So you will down the line, you are going to see that we'll be taking some of the experiences that we have in our Universe platform and bringing them to our clients as well, which is a micro learning enabled vehicle with ClickLearn concept as the driver. If we are looking at driving high engagement, fast implementations, and increased performance support, because learning is not just about learning right now, because we are all learning new if we are implementing, but when we get down the line, we're going to have to learn what has changed. And learning change is a different matter altogether. I think that it's probably the best vehicle you have there would be to use the user adoption center for driving the performance support part of your learning journeys. That means that it's a 24-hour on assistant after you're actually done with the training. So there's no more going out of the classroom and say, I can't really remember what happened there. So I think those are the way that we distinguish the features. Whether you, for your initial training, go with a learning portal or the standard learning experiences, or you drive that through the UAC. I'm not going to debate that, because that's almost a religious battle. I can tell you that you can do both. Our clients are doing both with success. And we have great cases on driving it through learning portals and then moving on to performance support afterwards. And we have great cases on driving it as UAC alone or UXP alone. I hope that answers. It's a broad question.
Yeah, it is. It's a very broad question. And I think it's a very good answer as well. Awesome.
Does that conclude our journey today, Morten?
I reckon it does, because there are no more questions, and I think we have spent the time that we assigned for this. So
I would like to thank everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Imre, for staying on with us and answering questions on your technology, which is absolutely brilliant. Thank you for the collaboration with us on getting the features up and running in the application. It's been a pleasure working with you, and I look forward to seeing this live with all our clients. To all of you who are still in the session, thank you so much for participating in Masterclass 2024. I look forward to seeing everyone next year. We're also doing a US one in a couple of hours. So if you feel that you need to see it all again, then join in for the US session, and we will obviously have a live session at the end of that. So thank you so much. Morten, Michael, thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
The best software reigns supreme. All the customers shout and scream. For ClickLearn is the name we cheer. Every business wants it near. To the floor, everyone's begging, give us more. Documentation done in a flash. With ClickLearn, you'll always smash. ClickLearn, ClickLearn, ClickLearn. It's the tool that saves the day. Every problem blown away. Automating everything with ease. ClickLearn's the one that aims to please. La la la, ClickLearn. La la la, ClickLearn. When you need the best, you know the name is ClickLearn that will win the game. La la la, ClickLearn. La la la, ClickLearn. We chant its name with pride and fame. ClickLearn. Every team for every need. It's ClickLearn that takes the lead. From finance, HR, and beyond. With ClickLearn, everyone's fond. ClickLearn. It's the champion of the tech scene. With its power, you're always keen. No more worries, no more pain. With ClickLearn, you always gain. ClickLearn. La la la, ClickLearn. We shout it loud, we shout it clear. ClickLearn's the name that we all cheer. When you need the best, you know the name is ClickLearn that will win the game. La la la, ClickLearn. La la la, ClickLearn. We shout it loud, we shout it clear. ClickLearn's the name that we all cheer. La la la, ClickLearn. La la la, ClickLearn. We chant its name with pride and fame. For when you need the best, you know the name is ClickLearn that will win the game. The best software reigns supreme. All the customers shout and scream. For ClickLearn is the name we cheer. Every business wants it near. ClickLearn. 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 From the boardrooms to the floor, everyone's begging, give us more. Documentation done in a flash. With ClickLearn you'll always smash. It's the tool that saves the day, every problem blown away, automating everything with ease. ClickLearn's the one that aims to please. La la la, ClickLearn. La la la, ClickLearn. When you need the best, you know the name is ClickLearn that will win the game. La la la, ClickLearn. La la la, ClickLearn. We chant its name with pride and fame. Every team for every need, it's ClickLearn that takes the lead. From finance, HR and beyond, with ClickLearn everyone's fond. ClickLearn. It's the champion of the tech scene. With its power you're always keen. No more